Hey guys, VideoJames, and I'm actually going to be stepping a little back into the past in my channel and doing another toy review. And since this is kind of the week of Transformers and the week of last night, I figured I would just do a toy review on my Dark of the Moon Nitro Bumblebee. Now, I haven't done a toy review since I got the sonic screwdriver, which was a long time ago. And I honestly didn't know what else I was going to record. I couldn't really think of anything, so I thought, well, why not just go back and look at my old videos and see what I haven't recorded in a while, or what I haven't done. So we're going to be doing a toy review on this today, and it's going to kind of be... Well, I just hit the Kindle real quick. It's going to kind of be like some other YouTubers' reviews, because I don't really have a set style for how I did my toy review. My original kind of didn't hit the kind of standard that I wanted it to, because I did not know where the camera was going at all. And back then I was like, what, a month or no, not a month, like 6 months into my YouTube channel, and I was still like complete noob. I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't even know how to make a thumbnail yet. So anyway, we're going to be doing a review on this Nitro Bumblebee, and this is actually from Dark of the Moon. I haven't really gotten any Age of Extinction, why do I keep saying that? Any The Last Night figures, because none of them have really caught my eye. I do want to get the Wave 3 Bumblebee when it comes out, because it'll actually have Bee's old style as well as his new concept art and a new feature, which apparently is supposed to be a lot better than all previous Bumblebees. So I'm going to start this review with actually the vehicle mode. So the vehicle mode for this bee is actually kind of cool. It does look a little yellower, a little yellower on camera than real life, but in real life it's kind of a little orange. I'll bring it closer if you can see. No, the camera just kind of makes it balance and kind of just keeps it as yellow. But this is kind of a little bit of a oranger color. I know it doesn't really show up on camera, but again, that's kind of the camera's fault. But I will bring in a comparison for my Transformers 1 1974 Camaro bee, and you can actually kind of see the difference. That you can see this bee is actually a lot brighter yellow, and this one's kind of a little darker, so you can tell this one's kind of yellower and this one's a little more orangish. Although this one does actually look a little orange now that I'm looking at them in this bright light, because I've got like 3 lights shining on this, and I do actually have them on a little cardboard thing so that I can show off the rolling later. But you can see that this one's kind of a little bit less yellow than this one, which I do kind of dislike about the figures. That a lot of the Bumblebee figures did kind of seem less yellow than I would have liked. That they could have done a lot more yellow into Bumblebee, like they did with the Last Night figure that I did a review on a few days ago with the Age of Extinction body. That was a complete letdown and just a massive repaint. But anyway, not going to get back into that. So when we look at the Dark of the Moon Bumblebee, we see he's actually about, let me see actually because I don't know, that he's about 5 inches, maybe 5.4 inches long. And it actually does roll pretty well. I mean, for the surface that he's on, he's kind of turning a little bit. But he does actually roll pretty well on solid surfaces. Carpet is just a complete mess because of his hands on the bottom, because he's got his hands kind of sticking out on the bottom in his vehicle mode. And it is actually a really nice Bumblebee. And you see it's got 3 ports up top for his little gun right here, his little machine gun mini-tech thing. So you can stick it here, or you can stick it up in one of these top ports up here, and then just kind of swivel it around because they aren't really restricting its movement. But anyway, we're going to get on the transformation into this because I don't want to spend all the time on the vehicle, and I actually do have plans for the robot mode. So we're actually going to start with the vehicle mode transformation. And you see the first thing we want to do is kind of pull these little wheels here. Pull these little wheels here out. There we go. Pull these little wheels out and push them up against the other doors. And you can see we want to do this for both sides. And then again, you kind of want to pull these little doors out almost until they look about like this, until they look like that, about, I'd say, a centimeter away from the roof of the car. And then you actually want to turn them up like this and get them to go this way so that they're horizontal. And then you can actually kind of work on the rest of the body. So we pull the little turbo booster here, this little part with the black on it. We pull this up and push it this way. And then we see we got Bee's arms on the bottom and his little head there. So we got to pull this arm out like this and pull it to the side. Then we've got to turn it this way so that the arm's facing out at like a 90-degree angle. And then we got to do that with the other arm as well. And just kind of pull it out and twist it around and all that and reconfigure everything. And then we got B's little chest plating right here, so we got to pull that down. And then we can actually pull his hood down over and just kind of slide it on over. And then we actually want to push this up here, the back of the car. Ah, his finger's caught on the rope. You want to pull the top of the car up like that until you hear a little click. And then push the top of the car down. Sometimes it'll go down. It's actually supposed to kind of latch on there. So it kind of attaches to the back of his head. And then you want to make sure that's all the way down. And then you push this up a little more, this little silver thing. You push this up a little more so that when you push these forward, these will connect. Because they've got little pegs on the bottom. I'll see if I can, yeah. See, they've got little pegs on the bottom. So that when you push them forward, they actually end up connecting into this. Connecting into this, if I can get it to connect. There we go. And you want to do the same for the other side, because both sides kind of have the same mechanisms. God, why are you taking so much to transform today? I swear to God, I just practiced transforming this earlier, so I wouldn't be taking the entire video. And then we can kind of pull his arms down, because we're done with the top part of his body, and actually shift his doors up. So that's like we've got one door up here and up there. And then we've kind of got the little wings, sort of. They're not really like they were back in Transformers 1 and actually in Dark of the Moon. But then we're moving on to the bottom half of B, and we see he's got his legs. So we want to actually do this. We want to push the back of the car and push it up like that, so that it's at kind of an angle separated from the back of the Camaro, these little arches here. And then we want to turn these so that this part of the arch right here is parallel to the leg, and do that for the same one on the other side, that we want to do it and get these parallel. And then we actually pull these parts of the legs apart, and then down here we see that the legs kind of separate, so we push the foot out, and we actually get the foot to come out of there and pull it out. And then we can just push this back part of the car up, revealing that there's a little kind of plasticky thing, letting us move this down and actually get that into place. So now we rotate the leg back and push this back into place. And there we go. And then we can just do that for the other leg as well. I'm always worried whenever I'm messing around with my Transformers too, that I'm going to end up breaking them. That I'm just going to actually just snap something off in a moment of sheer force and just break it. And then there we go. We got the other foot. And then that one is done. And then there we go. We actually have our Dark of the Moon Nitro Bumblebee transformed. I'm going to move this back a little bit and tilt the camera up. There we go. We actually have our Nitro Bumblebee transformed. I'm going to move this back again a little bit. And we see he actually stands pretty tall for a bee, that he stands about 6 inches tall. 6 inches, yeah. And then we can just stick on his little gun on his arm right here and just get that attached. And then he's got 2 ports for his gun on his arms, that he's got 2 of them on like his elbow area. And then we see this Bumblebee is actually pretty cool. He's one of the first Bumblebees to actually get the entire hood kind of shifting forward and kind of giving that illusion that the 2 parts of the hood are kind of shifted forward and covering the front like they actually seem like they do in the movies. And then we see his feet are kind of a little bit fat. I didn't really like that about Dark of the Moon B, that his feet did seem really fat to me, that they kind of just made B a little bit chunkier than he needed to be. Why was that clicking? I don't know. And then we turn around and we see the side of B, not really much there, that just kind of side angle. He does have a little bit of back package going on here with the back of the car that we see. It's kind of sticking out there and kind of just giving him like a backpack sort of thing. But it's not really that big a deal, unlike some of the other figures that I've seen over the years. It's not really that much. And then we see the back, again, that kind of little bit of back package, just kind of not really that much of an inconvenience. It just makes B a little bit better shielded in the back, I would say. And then we see this one doesn't really have much posability, that you can kind of bend the knees a little bit, but you'd have to kind of move everything around, and that doesn't really end up suiting you that well. But then we see we're going to do a comparison of size here. And then we see here he is next to the War for Cybertron Bumblebee. Ow. Thing just clicked on my finger. Then we see there he is next to the War for Cybertron B and the Dark of the Moon remake of the first movie Bumblebee. And we see he's kind of the mid-ground of them both, that Bumblebee is actually kind of shorter, and the first movie B was actually kind of a little bit taller. And then we actually see next to Age of Extinction Grimlock, that must have been why I kept saying Age of Extinction, that he is actually minuscule, that Grimlock's head is actually going off camera, that Grimlock is monumentally taller than B by standard. And then that's going to be actually all there is to this Bumblebee, that there's not really a lot. I do like the little detailing that they did on the hood of B, that they gave him a little bit of kind of that dotted pattern on the hood that you can see there. There's kind of little dots, kind of like you see on a regular car. And I do like the little sort of ear things that he's got going on, that his ears are more defined than they were on previous figures. And he doesn't have the kind of horns that he did in Cybertron and the original Generation 1. And we see his eyes are really light blue. I kind of wish they'd used a lighter paint for the face. That the paint for the face is really dark, almost black and rusted. And then we see everywhere else is kind of the same color. And I kind of wish, again, that they used like a lighter silver for the parts where it wasn't black, just to kind of make it seem more like an actual robot. But like I said, this figure is actually really cool. I'd say it's one of my third favorite figures. And I honestly have to give him I'd say 4 out of 5. Like I said, it's not really the best one. I'd have to still give that to the Revenge of the Fallen. The first movie Bumblebee, that the first movie Bumblebee actually did seem a lot more... Why is this not in focus? There we go. That the first movie Bumblebee actually did seem a lot more like the actual Bumblebee to me, because his wings kind of did stick out a little more, and he just had kind of more silverish paint everywhere and kind of nicer balance of colors. And he did actually have more of a Bumblebee aesthetic to him. But anyway, I really like this figure. I'll leave a link for you guys to go check it out in the description at Amazon. And possibly Hasbro, if I can figure out if they have a page for this still. I don't think they will, because it's outdated. But yeah, this is one of my actually favorite Bumblebee figures, and if you do actually like collecting Transformers, and you do actually kind of want this be, I'd say get it, because it is one of the better figures that have actually come out over the years. That there's been a lot of figures that I've actually seen, like First Generation Jazz, TF1 Jazz, TF3 Starscream, and I think TF1 Megatron was actually really cool, as well as the, I wouldn't say Age of Extinction, probably Revenge of the Fallen Optimus. But anyway, I'm going to leave this toy review here, and I'm going to leave this video here. Let me know if you guys actually do want to see more of these videos. I probably am going to do more for a few of my other Transformers. Maybe not, maybe it'll depend. But I'm going to leave this video here. If you guys actually did like this video, you can go ahead and slap the like button as always, and me and B will see you guys later.